News this morning. The weekend fire in Rockcastle County left a maintenance garage destroyed. And spring is only 25 days away, but winter weather returned in full force Sunday.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Welcome to Mountain News This Morning. I'm Neely Green here with you on this Tuesday, February 24th. The time is now 5:31, and let's check in with meteorologist Megan Desmond for a look at your forecast this morning. Megan, I'm really liking this blue. It's like such a pretty color on you.
Yeah, I've described it as petrol blue. I don't know if that's actually the name for it, but I do like this color as well. Thank you, Neely. But on this morning, it's definitely nice to have these longer sleeves on the dress as well because it's chilly outside. We are talking about the low 20s. Some folks dealing with the teens. It's 19 degrees right now in Clintwood and Logan, 15 in Monticello. We do have a light wind though, so those temperatures could feel a tad chillier. We head into the afternoon. We'll see some nice relief, low 40s in the forecast. By about 4 p.m., we'll cool down a little bit heading into the evening, but keep in mind a warm front's on the way overnight, which will give us warmer temperatures heading into your Wednesday. Here's a look at the next couple of minutes on that satellite and radar, seeing where those flurries are still hanging on, but don't worry, it's on its way out. And by 10 o'clock, we should be nice and clear, looking at partly cloudy skies for the remainder of the day. There is a chance of a wintry mix, though, overnight as that warm front comes through, which will clear out early Wednesday, and then we're looking at heavy rain chances on Thursday. Neely.
Thank you, Megan. One Letcher County man was killed after a house fire during the weekend. State police say first responders were called to a home in the McRoberts area just after 7:30 a.m. on Saturday. Fire crews found the home fully engulfed when they arrived. After putting it out, crews found the body of 70-year-old Robert Mullins. Mullins' body was sent to the medical examiner's office in Frankfort. Police say foul play is not suspected. A weekend fire in Rockcastle County left a maintenance garage destroyed. Judge Executive Hal Holbrook says it was around 3:30 p.m. Saturday when dispatch got a call about smoke coming out of the roof of the road department. One firefighter was taken to the hospital, but Holbrook says they are expected to be okay. But the road department did lose some equipment in the fire. Holbrook says they are down 2 dump trucks out of their 5-truck fleet. The county is working to find a temporary maintenance garage.
It didn't totally shut us down as far as hauling rock, but of course, you know, when you lose 2 trucks of your fleet, that does hurt a little.
The county is working to find a temporary maintenance garage. Holbrook says he won't know the full extent of the damage to equipment and tools that were inside of the garage until the fire investigation is over. A vigil was held in honor of Doug Harless. Harless was shot and killed by London police inside his home more than a year ago. The vigil comes 3 days after a grand jury declined to indict anyone in connection with Harless's death. Investigators say officers were serving a search warrant when Harless pointed a gun at them. However, dispatch audio later revealed officers may have been at the wrong address. Meanwhile, several elected officials in Laurel County are asking federal officials to look into Doug Harless's death. In a post on Facebook, the request for formal inquiry was started by Judge Executive David Westerfield and was endorsed by Sheriff John Rue as well as several elected officials. John and Jean Rosenberg moved to Prestonsburg in 1970 and have since built a reputation as Appalachian advocates, champions for change, and neighbors devoted to building up those in need. Now they are moving out of the mountains, and WYMT's Buddy Forbes sat down with the couple to look back as they look forward to the next chapter in a new city.
How do you pack up more than 5 decades of memories?
Wonderful things, wonderful memories. Everywhere we have a story to tell.
John and Jean Rosenberg spent Monday doing just that as they planned for their first move in more than 55 years.
We have a combination of all kinds of things.
The Rosenbergs pulled their VW bus into Floyd County in 1970 with plans to plant an organization to provide access to legal aid.
I think when we first came, there was a lot of questions about whether we were going to try to upset the apple cart here. People had been here, that somehow we we were in fact going to be taking on some folks in public office and the coal industry when we thought there were serious issues.
But it was not long until the Rosenbergs took root in the communities and culture of eastern Kentucky. And John, whose family escaped Nazi Germany when he was a child.
But all of these gold stars are the people who were murdered.
Was no longer known as the Holocaust survivor, but a hope supplier. John spent his career focused on making legal help accessible, founding Apple Red Legal Aid and Appalachian Citizens Law Center.
People who need a lawyer and couldn't afford them, so that they could stand toe-to-toe with folks who could afford lawyers.
From parental support to prison outreach programs, Jean has used her passions to address unmet needs in the community services realm.
It made me feel useful that I could share what I had learned to help me with others. And that grew.
Hand in hand, the duo of lifelong learners also created opportunities for others to grow through several educational programs, as well as the founding of the East Kentucky Science Center, with Jean's Quaker faith and John's Jewish heritage lighting their path forward.
The Jews have it more together. They have a name for it, tikkun olam, to rebuild the world. And I think those values guide what you do.
Now they are stepping into a new chapter, boxing years of collected memories and heading to Lexington, as Jean works to protect her memory, following a recent diagnosis of late, a form of dementia that presents much like Alzheimer's, which the Rosenbergs say was discovered during an annual brain study they both participate in with the UK Sanders Brown Center on Aging.
It came out of the blue, even though every year we were doing fine one year after another, and so they recognized this issue, and so we have very good care, and we know what we're up against. We have to deal with there, but that's
why we're going. We wouldn't have gone, I think.
So they are moving to be closer to Jean's doctors and their daughter. But since the couple is like a pair of celebrities in the city, their neighbors and friends would not let them go without a showing of support, filling the Mountain Arts Center Friday night to toast their next journey.
So we know that over the years we've had many friends. Community's been wonderful.
Before making sure they will always have a key to the city if they ever find themselves back at Prestonsburg's door.
Prestonsburg has molded me and shaped me in many ways.
Followed by the showing of a play created to share John's story.
A man like John Rosenberg don't come to a place like Prestonsburg by accident.
And though they will soon drive out in cars, not that VW Bug, they are still expecting adventure to await.
There are communities within communities that need attention and need volunteers, and I'm sure we'll find many other places to be helpful.
In Floyd County, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
On top of the honors from the city, the American Bar Association is also recognizing Rosenberg this year, naming the 95-year-old the recipient of the 2026 ABA Medal. The state's largest teachers union and some retirement groups voiced concerns over a budget proposal being considered at the state capitol. They say House Bill 500 contains a cap on employer contributions, leading to higher health insurance premiums for many, including teachers, public worker, retirees, and school support staff. House Speaker David Osborne says the challenge is how to pay for an expected 24% cost for employee benefits.
These are some of the hardest working people that you'll see, and you can prove that because you can ask them when you see them at their second job.
Kentucky's House Speaker says the budget is still a work in progress and nothing has been finalized. There's no date on it yet when the state budget bill will be heard in the committee. A listening session yesterday at the West Virginia Capitol for parents to share their thoughts and make suggestions regarding child protective services. Lawmakers gave time to the parents to express how they feel about the current system. The session came at a time when the Senate Judiciary Committee is focusing more on efforts on the issue, with several lawmakers calling for change. One parent from McDowell County saying there should be a familiar option for kids instead of immediately dealing with CPS.
If there's an alternative, keep them in that family supportive environment. When you take a kid, you put them in an alien environment that they feel no support. My kids were so traumatized that if you walked up the sidewalk with a lanyard on, they hid. And we don't need that. We need to stop taking kids.
The Senate Judiciary Committee began hearing child welfare bills yesterday afternoon and hopes to pass several throughout the week. The executive director of the Housing Development Alliance in Hazard says it's tough to find and buy a home in Kentucky.
The Kentucky Housing Corporation has done an amazing study on what they call the housing supply gap. And I think across the Commonwealth that we're something like over 200,000 units short. We need that many more houses. And when you don't build houses, really bad things happen. It becomes really hard to buy a house, which is, you know, if you're a young couple starting out, you don't have a lot of resources, or maybe you're an older couple or older individual trying to downsize, it's hard to buy a house.
Learn more about the work HDA is doing on this week's Issues and Answers. You can find a link on our website. Spring is only 25 days away, but winter weather returned in full force Sunday. Parts of Perry County saw an 1.5 to 2 inches of snow beginning Sunday, causing slick and icy road conditions. As a result, many schools and businesses are closed or delayed. County officials say while road conditions improve throughout the day, drivers could still see black ice through today.
I still think, you know, the temperature's dropping tonight, you know, we're going to have to get, well, still have to be really careful because we still possibility of some black ice out there today.
The Perry County Sheriff's Office says they were providing rides to essential worker personnel this morning, and if you feel unsafe to drive, you can call their office at 606-439-4523. This iconic Parson Bridge is about to be transformed. That and more in a look of today's Eye on Entertainment.
And we're tracking heavy rain chances as we're heading into your Thursday.